Okay, so today's is looking a little different because we're starting something new, and it is measurement. So today we will be talking about quarter inch, half inch, inch, feet, yards. So a quarter inch is about this long, and a half inch is like this long, and then an inch is about this long. See, a quarter inch is 1/4 of an inch. So if you put 4 of these, it'll make an inch. A half inch, if you think about it, half of something. So if you put 2 of those, it would make 1 inch. And then feet, if you put 12 inches together, so 12 of these side by side, it will make 1 foot or feet. And 12 of those looks like this, because this is 1 inch, 2 inch, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 inches together makes 1 foot. And a lot of people remember that because it is almost the size of a human foot. Maybe not your feet, because you guys have smaller feet right now, but when you get a little bit older and your feet grow a little bit bigger, this will be about almost the size of it. Because if you look right here, well, sort of, it's more like a larger man foot, but yeah. And then yards is 3 feet, so 1 of these, 2 of these, and 3 of these put together to make one yard. And so 1 yard looks like this. Oh, I need to back up. Can't see it because it's so long. So that is 1 yard because it's 3 of those. So usually you won't use quarter inch or half inch to really measure things, but you will use it if you're trying to measure something. You're trying to measure how long an item is, and it doesn't exactly hit an inch. So it might be like this long, and so that's not going to be 2 inches because it doesn't do 2 of those. But you can use these to understand exactly how long it is. So what we're going to do is we are going to measure a couple of things so we can see how long some of the things that we might have at our house are. Okay, so first thing we'll do is this little broken up stick. Okay, so we're going to put it on this ruler here. We're going to put it on the very edge because you want to start at 0 so you know exactly how long. Alright, well, if we look at it closely, it ends about right there. And this one right here indicates that that is 1 inch. So this stick is literally 1 inch. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is the house key. So to determine which measurement you use, the thing you're measuring has to be larger than it. So are we going to measure in half inch? No, because it's larger than a half inch. I'm sorry. We have to use something that it has to be larger than it to use it. So if it is larger than a half inch, then we can use half inch. I'm sorry, I got that mixed up. If it is larger than this inch, we can use inches to figure out how big it is. But this key, is it larger than this foot? It's not. So we know we can't use feet to measure it because it doesn't even make up 1 foot. So the largest one we have on here that we can use is inch before we get to feet. So we're going to see how many inches the key is. So we're going to put it all the way to 0, and 0 starts right here. Okay. And we're going to come over here, and it ends about right here. So that's not exactly 2 inches. It's very close. But a 1/4 inch, so think about fractions, okay? Right here is 2 inches, and then right here is 3 inches. But if you see this line right here, that is a 1/2 inch because it's right in the middle. It's half of 2 and 3. Then these, remember what we did with fractions when we wanted to make a 1/2 a 4th? We took the halves and split it in half. So right here, this little line right here is a 1/4, and that's a 1/4. So this is 1/4 quarter, 2/4 quarter, 3/4 quarter. So if we had to estimate, because it's not exactly on something, we would either say it's close to 2 inches, because it is close to 2 inches, or we would say it's 2 1/4 inch. But if we're trying to figure out how much space to leave for this, we want to give it more space, because if we say 2 and we create a box for our key, let's say we create a box for our key and we just say 2 inches, it's not going to fit because it's more than 2 inches. So you want to make your measurement a little bit longer so you can make sure it fits. So we would probably say it's 2 inches and 1/4. So then we can know that it'll fit in there. Okay, let's do, so I'm gonna do some sauce because I miss Chick-fil-A. I haven't gone to Chick-fil-A in a while because of quarantine, but I love the Chick-fil-A sauce and I love chicken nuggets, as you guys know. So we're gonna measure how big the sauce is. Let's do it flat so we can see how flat it is. Okay, so again, we're gonna measure it on the smallest measurement before it goes past it. So we could do it by 1/4 inches, but let's see if there's one that's bigger that we can do. We can do it by 1/2 inch. So, but let's see if we can do it on an inch. And we can do it by inches because it's not past it. But is the feet past it? No, it is less than a foot, so we need to measure it based on inches. So we're gonna do it right here. Okay. So this one's almost similar to the key, except it's a little bit longer. So remember we had to start it at 0, okay, right here. It makes it to about right. I'm moving this so much. Okay, let's see. About right there. This one right there. Okay, so remember this is a 1/4 inch, a 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch. So we know that this is 2 inches for sure, but let's say we want to put it in a box. We gotta make sure the box is big enough to fit the sauce. So if we just say 2 inches, then it's not gonna fit in there because it's gonna have this much extra space that we don't have for it. Then if we do a 1/4 inch, which is right here, that wouldn't be useful either because it's still a little bit bigger. We would almost fit it, but we wouldn't fit it completely. So to make sure we fit it, we should probably go up and go to 2.5 inches. 2.5 inches, so that we can make sure we know it would fit, because 2.5 inches is right here, so we know that if we put it in the box, it would fit. Okay, let's do this card. I don't know if any of you have gone to Frankie's, but I love Frankie's. So we need to look for the smallest measurement that we can fit our card and it have extra space. So we could use 1/4 inches, but I think that we could also do 1/2 inches, yeah, and we can do inches. Can we do feet? Is it longer than a foot. No, it is not longer than a whole foot, so we cannot do feet. So we have to use inches. So we're gonna put the card on 0. All right, let's see. It is about right there, that little line, right there. So remember, this is like 4. So 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. So right here, we're a little bit past 1/4. So if we wanted to put our card in something, if we just said 3 inches and 1/4, it would just barely not fit. So we need to go up. We need to round it up. 3 inches and 1/2. So we need to go halfway between 3 and 4 to make sure we have enough space for our card. Alright, let's do this hand sanitizer since everybody is needing hand sanitizer right now. Alright, we're going to start at 0. Oh wait, we got to make sure we can figure out which measurement do we need to use. So remember, it needs to be more than one of these in order to make it work. Okay, we could use 1/4 inch, but I believe it's bigger. 1/2 inch, we could do 1/2 inch. We can do an inch. Can we do a feet? Is it bigger than 1 foot? No, it is not bigger than 1 foot, so we have to use inches. So we're going to put it at 0. Okay. Oops. Okay, we'll put it at 0. And it is about right here, this little line right there. Okay, so we know it's 3 inches, but we want to be a little bit more specific. So we have 1/4 inch, a 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch. So it is one little line past 3/4 inch. So it is about 3 3/4 inch, but let's say we want to put it into a box. Would we want to go to 3 3/4 inch? Probably not, because it's not going to fit. We want to round it up a little bit. So we would probably round it up to 4 inches to make sure that we can fit it nice and good. All right, next one. Let's do. Ouch. I'm trying not to move the camera too much, but I'm not succeeding very well. Okay, let's do this flashlight. Okay, let's figure out what is the smallest measurement or the biggest measurement that we can use to measure this flashlight. Okay, we could use a 1/4 inch, but it's a lot bigger than a 1/4 inch. So let's see if we can use a different one. It's a half inch could work, but it's a lot bigger than a 1/2 inch. So we see if we can do a bigger one. It is bigger than an inch, so we could use an inch, but let's see if there's a bigger one that we could use. Is it bigger than a foot? It is not bigger than a foot, so we need to use inches. Alright, so we need to start our flashlight at 0 over here. Okay, so it's at 0. Alright, and it ends about right here. It's between these two, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, it's about right here. Oops, I'm moving stuff. Alright, so it is about right there. Okay, so this is 5 inches, and this is 1/4 inch, but it's a little bit past it. So we're going to go up and say we're going to do 5 1/2 inches, because this is the half point between 5 and 6. So 5 1/2 inches. Okay, let's do this marker. Okay, this marker. So we're going to find the largest measurement we can use without And less than it. Okay, we could use 1/4 inch, but it's pretty long, so we can probably use a different one. We could use a 1/2 inch, but whoa, please don't run away. We can use a 1/2 inch, but we could probably use a bigger one. An inch, we could use an inch. Let's see if we can use feet. It is not bigger than feet, so we have to use inches. All right, let's put this marker at 0. I hope it doesn't roll away. Okay. All right. So let's go. We're at 6 inches here, but it goes past it. So it looks like it is about in between these two lines right here. So if it's between those, it's about 6, and this is 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4. It's about 6 and 3/4 inches. Okay. Let's see. I have a can over there, but I'm gonna move a lot trying to get to it. I should have brought this stuff closer. That probably would have been smart, huh? But I'll move it closer now. Alright. So we're gonna use this can. Hope it doesn't roll away. Alright. So we want to see which measurement that we can use. We could use a 1/4 inch, but it's a lot bigger than a 1/4 inch, so we probably can use a bigger one. 1/2 inch. We could use 1/2 inch. We can use inch. Let's see if we can use feet. No, it is not bigger than a foot, so we need to use inches. So make sure it's at 0. And let's see where we're at. 4. This is a 1/4 inch, a 1/2 inch. It's about 4.5 inches. It's not quite at 4.5, but it's approximately that much. Alright, let's use Clorox wipes. Oh no! Come back. I'm sorry guys, this is a terrible video. So, if we want to measure how long it is, we could use a 1/4 inch, but it's pretty big, so I don't think we want to count that many 1/4 inches. We can use 1/2 inch. We can use an inch. Let's see if we can use a feet. Is it bigger than 1 foot? No, it is not bigger than 1 foot, so we need to measure it in inches. Okay, put it on 0. Okay, let's see, we got 8 inches, and it looks like it ends exactly on, exactly on a 1/4 inch, because it is 1/4 the way there. So 8 1/4 inch, or 1/4 inch. So we got 8 1/4 inches for our Clorox wipes. Alright, I have this thing. I don't know what it is. I thought it was a stick, and then I picked it up, and it's like some type of metal thing. But we're going to measure it anyways. Okay, we could use a 1/4 inch, but it's pretty long, so I think we should go a little bit higher. We can use a 1/2 inch, but again, it's pretty long, so let's try a different one. We can use an inch. Let's see if we can use a foot. Ooh, it's longer than a foot, so this one we can use a foot. Let's see. If we can use a foot, we need to get a bigger ruler. So we're going to use our yardstick. Okay. Okay. So remember, 12 inches is 1 foot. So it's 1 foot and 1 inch, 2 inches more. So we got 1 inch, 2 inches, and then, so we got, it is 1 foot two and about 3/4 inches, because we got 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. So it's about 1 foot, 2 3/4 inches. It's kind of complicated sounding, huh? So 1 foot, 2 extra inches, and then 3/4 of an inch. You gotta put all that together. So that was our first one that was more than, we could use feet. Okay, the next thing I need to use is up there, so we're about to move a little bit. Sorry. Oops, I'm making a mess. Alright, so first thing we're going to use is this cushion here. Move that one out of the way. Alright, we want to see how long this cushion is. So, I think we can already tell it's not going to be a 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch. And if you look right here, it's not even going to be an inch because it's longer than a foot. So it's like we're going to measure in feet. Okay. So we want to start it at 0. And you're probably like, well, that corner's right there. No, because you have to start it right here on the edge. The furthest edge needs to be lined up. It's kind of hard to see, but yeah. Okay, 12 inches is 1 foot. So we know it's at least 1 foot. I'm going to see how many extra inches. 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 4 inch. Oh my goodness, I think it's about right there. So it looks like it's 1 foot and 4 inches long. So that one was pretty easy because we didn't have to do any 1/4 or 1/2 inches. Okay. Now we have this thing here. I think it's a placemat, but I'm not really sure. I just kind of found stuff in my house. Okay, let's see. We already know it's going to be more than a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, and an inch. Let's see if it's bigger than a foot. Yes, it is bigger than a foot. So we're going to see how long this really is. So we're going to put this at 0. Remember, it's curved, so you need to put the curve. This part needs to line up with 0. Okay. Alright, 12 inches is 1 foot. So right here is 1 foot. Now see how many inches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it ends about at a 1/2 inch. So we got 1 foot, 6 and a 1/2 inches. So 1 foot and 6 and a 1/2 inches. Alright. Alright, last thing we are going to measure is over here. It is a broom. So, if we have our broom, so there's our foot. It's definitely bigger than a foot. And then from here to here is a yard. Is it bigger than that? Yes. So this one we need to measure in yards. So we need to spread this out. I'm going to cut my phone like this until I figure this out. Alright, so we are going to line it up. Remember, 0 needs to be at the start. Okay. Let's measure it, keep going. Alright, here's the end. So we're going to drag our finger. Okay, 53. Alright, so we have 1 yard is 36 inches. So 36 is right there. But we're at 53.5. So let's see how many inches is from 36 to 53. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 12. That is 1 foot. So we got 1 yard, 1 foot. Let's keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 5 inches, and then we said it was a ½ inch. So we got 1 yard, 1 foot, 5 inches, 5.5 inches. So you don't really need right now to be this exact with measurements right now, but just know that when you look at an object, you would know which one that you probably need to measure with. Like if it's really, really tiny, like this ant right here, then you might measure with a ½ inch. If you're measuring a dime, it might be a quarter inch or a ½ inch. If you are measuring with measuring a crayon, it might be inches. Just to know, depending on how big the item is, to know what it is you're measuring with, like a quarter inch, ½ inch, inch, feet, or yards. Okay, bye.